Hello and welcome. You're watching Today in Parliament with me, Ashwarya, and these are the Parliament headlines. Rajya Sabha to take up a Protection of Human Rights Amendment Bill 2019. Home Minister Amit Shah to move the bill for consideration and passage. Bill aims to amend the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. Also in Rajya Sabha, Appropriation Number 2 Bill 2019 to be moved by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman for consideration and return. Bill passed in the Lok Sabha last week. 4 bills listed in today's agenda in the Lok Sabha. Dr. Harshvardhan to introduce the National Medical Commission Bill 2019. Right to Information Amendment Bill 2019, Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2019 also listed for consideration and passage. Two bills are listed in today's agenda in the Rajya Sabha. Home Minister Amit Shah will move the Protection of Human Rights Amendment Bill 2019 for consideration and passing. It aims to amend the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. The bill aims to accelerate the process of appointment of chairperson and the members of the National Human Rights Commission. It also stipulates that besides a former Chief Justice of India, a former Supreme Court judge can also become NHRC chairperson. The bill was passed by Lok Sabha with a voice vote last week. And Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will move the Appropriation Number 2 Bill 2019 for consideration and return. It aims to authorize the payment and appropriation of certain sums from and out of the Consolidated Fund of India for the services of the financial year 2019-20. The bill was passed by Lok Sabha last week. And in the Lok Sabha, 4 bills are listed in today's agenda. One bill listed for introduction includes the National Medical Commission Bill 2019. Dr. Harshvardhan will move for leave to introduce the bill to provide for a medical education system that improves the access to quality and affordable medical education in our country, ensures the availability of adequate and high-quality medical professionals in all parts of the country. And also in the agenda, 3 bills are listed for consideration and passing. Jitendra Singh will move the Right to Information Amendment Bill 2019 to amend the Right to Information Act 2005 for consideration and passing. Nitin Gadkari will move the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2019 to amend the Motor Vehicles Act 1988 for consideration and passing. And Amit Shah will move the Unlawful Activities Prevention Amendment Bill 2019 to further amend the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 for consideration and passing. All right, Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from Parliament. Kriti, talking first about Lok Sabha, 4 bills are listed in today's agenda, and one, of course, this includes the National Medical Commission Bill 2019. But at the same time, one sitting Lok Sabha member has passed away. What are the updates you have on the session today?
But Ashwarya, the lower house will lament the death of sitting member Ramchandra Paswan. We've seen how condolences poured in from President, Vice President, Prime Minister and also Speaker of the Lok Sabha. In fact, Ramchandra Paswan represented the constituency of Samastipur in the lower house. So today, certainly the lower house will sit and mourn the death of the sitting member. Otherwise, if you talk about the listed agenda today, you've mentioned how important bills are lined up in the lower house today. For instance, for introduction, there's National Medical Commission Bill in order to supersede the Medical Council of India and also to regulate the fees and make the entire admission process more transparent. There are other important bills for consideration and passage. So there's Motors Vehicles Amendment Bill. Remember, this bill has been on the priority of the government for a very long time now. Remember, for the last 3 years, around 1.5 lakh deaths have occurred on roads. That translates into 400 deaths every day. So the government is absolutely serious about the issue. And this particular bill has stringent penalties in case of violations. There are other important bills like the Rti Amendment Bill. Remember, when this bill was introduced in the lower house, the opposition members had expressed apprehension, saying that this bill would actually weaken the institution of Information Commission, but the government had assuaged all concerns, saying that this bill will rather make the entire Information Commission body more effective. There is another important bill, which is the Unlawful Activities Prevention Amendment Bill that would be moved in the lower house today. So important agenda on the list of Lok Sabha today. Aishwarya?
And Kriti, talking about Rajya Sabha today, two bills are there in today's agenda. Of course, the Human Rights Amendment Bill and the Appropriation Number 2 Bill. How crucial are these two bills?
Well, Aishwarya, as far as the Protection of Human Rights Amendment Bill is concerned, remember this bill will ensure that the entire process to appoint the chairperson and members of the Human Rights Commission would be expedited. So this bill also provides for a judge of the Supreme Court to become the chairperson of the Human Rights Commission, and also appointment. It provides for appointing 3 members to the commission instead of the current 2, the position that we have right now. There's another important bill, which is the Appropriation Number 2 Bill. Remember, in the Lok Sabha, this bill was passed, and this bill authorized the central government to withdraw 98.18 lakh crore rupees from the Consolidated Fund of India to meet the expenditure for the current financial year. And also in the Rajya Sabha, this bill would be taken up today. But remember, this bill pertains to the finance, and also Rajya Sabha has limited powers when it comes to finance and the money bills. So, of course, the Rajya Sabha can make recommendations, but it is up to the Lok Sabha to accept or reject them. So, 2 important bills lined up in the upper house today. Aishwarya?
Right, Kriti, thank you for all those updates there on that story. And now a look at some of the ministers who are going to lay papers on the table concerning their ministries in the Rajya Sabha today. Rajnath Singh for the Ministry of Defence. Prakash Javadekar for the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change. Shripad Yesu Naik for the Ministry of Defence. Kiran Rijiju for the Ministry of Minority Affairs and the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. And Mansukh Mandavia for the Ministry of Shipping. And Mansukh Mandavia will also make a statement regarding the status of implementation of recommendations contained in the 266th report of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture on demands for grants 2018-19 pertaining to the Ministry of Shipping. And Arjun Ram Meghwal will make a statement regarding the status of implementation of recommendations contained in the 292nd report of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Industry on demands for grants 2018-19 pertaining to the Department of Heavy Industries, Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises. General V.K. Singh to make a statement regarding status of implementation of recommendations contained in the 265th report of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture on demands for grants 2018-19 pertaining to the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Pratap Chandra Sarangi will make a statement regarding the status of implementation of recommendations contained in the 293rd report of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Industry on demands for grants. And a look at some of the ministers who will be laying papers on the table concerning their ministries in the Lok Sabha today. Santosh Kumar Gangwar for the Ministry of Labour and Employment. Prahlad Singh Patel for the Ministry of Culture and the Ministry of Tourism. Dhotre Sanjit Chamrao for the Ministry of Human Resource Development. Anurag Singh Thakur for the Ministry of Finance and Corporate Affairs. And the Secretary General will report 2 messages from Rajya Sabha regarding the New Delhi International Arbitration Centre Bill 2019 and the Arbitration and Conciliation Amendment Bill 2019. That's it in this edition of Today in Parliament. Do stay tuned. The proceedings of the Upper House are going to commence at 11 a.m. Thanks for watching.